everybody, and welcome to Finals Week 2 review and Week 3 preview. Boy, oh boy, did we have some great games to review this week. A nail-biter and a scoring belter. We also named our inaugural Footywired squad of 20. I'm excited just like Big Kev, so let's get to it.
Lock it in. Sats for guys. It's time to win. Footywired. 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 Footywired.
Alright, so let's look at the first game, which was the first semi in a win or go home battle. It's been well documented that the Rangers have been one of the best informed teams, getting high scores for the last probably 6 weeks. While Diablos, they've been rather poor actually and been one of the lowest performing sides. However, they did finish second and did get the second chance, which is the reason why they're playing in this game. Form would have the result go the Rangers' way, but this game isn't played on form, with El Diablos getting the big win, 431.5 to the Rangers 390. El Diablos finally got it all together when it mattered, and they'll live in their forward line with Ben King getting 62, as well as Toby Green getting 62 as well. Caleb Sarong in the middle was fantastic, and he stood out with 59. Shout out to the Lions boys and McCluggage and Dunkley, also stood up when it mattered for them. For Rangers, still got a high score, and they will rue missed opportunities this year. They played well, and they were a well-performed team, as we mentioned. Zach Merritt, he got looped in as a utility and got 110 despite having a broken hand, while big Ranger Riley O'Brien was amazing in the ruck with 55. Still also performed well in his milestone game and got 50 as a tackler. Besides Bolton, the others were down in production, including Noah Anderson, who probably had his worst game of the year. 2 great scores in the optimised lineups as well. Dunkley moving to utility spot for the Devilcocks, and Parker and Chris will come to the side. While for Rangers, the forwards will swap positions, and Saligo Canulio will come into the midfield spots. So that's for the year. Well, thank you, Kenna. Now we just need you to show you how to be able to use internet banking and do a transfer to send $50 over. Because here, no cash. No cash, Robbo, cash? No cash. That's right, Chopper. Anyway, so now El Diablos, they get the win. They move on to the preliminary final, and they'll play the loser of the second semi-final in the Para Derby, who meet each other for the third time in finals, where the Gators have actually won the previous 2 encounters to date. The Gods, they're looking to make their 4th grand final, while the Gators were seeking to make their 7th appearance in a grand final. The Gods have been waiting for this big moment all year. As I said, they've pretty much sewn up this second semi-final position since round 10. Having a heavy workload in training, they've been getting ready, they've been a bit cozy, they've been a bit lackadaisy, haven't been in the best of form. While the Gators, they've had to fight for this position to be able to make it here, and every single game has been a do or die battle. And to prove that a good competition does get the better over a relaxed approach, with the Gators getting the win, 347 to 347.5. Half a point. Second time this season the Gators have had a win by half a point. The Gods tinkered a little bit, and they put Naz into utility, who is leading the league in kicks this year. He was excellent and got 95. McCurch as a halfback got 51 and almost won the game for the Gods. And Chad Warner was excellent as a half forward and got 41. Everyone else was pretty much down on form. For the Gators, they were affected with Newcomb being off for 20 minutes with concussion, or to check concussion, and Grundy actually left the game for the same reason, the concussion. However, they still got over the line. Hopefully Grundy will be back for that final next week, otherwise we're stuck with Adams. Anyway, Grundy's resurgence has got me to this position. As has the astronaut, who was fantastic once again. He got 57 as a full forward, and his late goal pretty much won the game for the Gators. Butters bounced back after a poor performance the week before. 58, and Myers is a half forward. His second half of the season has been fantastic. He got 38 as half forward. But like the gods, everyone else was down. Whether they're injured or not, their average score was down on form. Optimised lineups, close game again, 1.5 points difference here. Both teams shuffling the decks a little bit, and a couple of changes for both teams with this one. So the Gators go through to their 7th grand final and will be seeking to equal Renegades, leading 5 titles in this competition. The Gods, they face El Diablos in a prelim this week, which we'll look at in a moment. First, let's have a look at the team of the week. Score of 558.5. The Devilcocks forward line of King Green get there, and Dunkley from the Devilcocks make it as well, or El Diablos in utility. Ranger Riley in the ruck, Ed Richards and Bailey Smith in the midfields. Callum Mooker is the halfback, and Dawson as the tackler. So now, the moment you've all been waiting for. The inaugural Footywired squad of 20, which next week will reveal the Footywired team of the season, plus the interchange or loophole, whatever. Now, we'll go in order from teams and the ladder finishes. So the Gods, they are represented by Tom Atkins and Nasai Wangani Malira. El Diablos, they have Hugh McCluggage in there, while the Gators only have the one as well with Dane Zorko. Rangers Anonymous have Noah Anderson, Riley O'Brien, and Jack Steele. From the Sugar Daddies, we've got Bailey Dale and Matt Rowell. Bombers Forever have Marcus Bontempelli, Sam Darcy, and Jared Witts. Second Destroyer represented by Nick Dacos and Jack Gunston. Renegades have Max Home and Bailey Smith. Punters Paddock have an equal high 3 players represented with Jeremy Cameron, Jordan Dawson, and Ed Richards. And finally, Maltese Falcons have Nick Blakey. Tom Green would have been player 21, by the way, but we said an inaugural squad of 20. So there we go. Well done to those players who made that squad. A few teams with 3, few teams with 1. Anyway, let's have a look at this week's game. It is the prelim. It's first place Gods of Olympus are playing second place El Diablos. Gods, they had one of their worst weeks of the year last week, and while El Diablos had one of their best. These two teams met in round 2 and round 11, with Gods getting the win in both encounters. Pretty easy actually, and high scoring games both of those were. The Gods, they welcome back Curtis from suspension. They could have an issue regarding Rowan Marshall with the Saints naming a second ruck this week. What's happened to Rosie after Stiff's allegations tonight? What's going to happen there? Anyway, everyone else should be good to go. From there, squads are named, no other outs really to think of. Possible loopholes here for the Gods. Naz and Marshall both play the Bombers on Friday night. Could be dangerous, seeing what Naz can do there. Look out for that one. Brayshaw, he's also got the game on Friday night. He's got the big one versus the Lions, but will Dunkley go to him? Who's the Dunkley tag going to? Other options is Rosie versus the Blues early Saturday. Yeah, he's been a bit busy. Anyway, for the Devilcocks, they don't have any new injury concerns at all. No returns really, and will be confident going to the game after the last week's good performance. Just like their opponents though, they have a plethora of options to choose from as a loophole. They've got currently they do have Sarong in there, and Sarong looks like a fantastic option. But they've also got McCluggage and Dunkley for that game. And will Dunkley go to Sarong? Who's going to go to Sarong or Brayshaw? Either way, Dunkley is going to have a massive say in this outcome in this game. Ryan also a loophole from that game. Also got a few plays Saturday, but the best options are in that Brisbane Freo game. And we could actually know the result of this game by that Friday night game, because there was a lot of players playing from the Brisbane Freo game. Get it out. Anyway, let's have a look at the AFL fixture. 2 games Friday is the Bombers and the Saints, and the massive game between the Dockers and the Lions. Saturday, 12:35, Expansion Cup. Giants are at risk of missing the 8 if they lose to the Suns. Blues play the Power at 1:20. Twilight game is the Hawks and the D's, and the Hawks must win. If they win, surely they make the finals. Saturday night, Crows and the Free Falling Pies. Sunday, North play the Roos at 1:10. North play the Tigers at 1:10, should I say. Swans and the Cats at 3:15. And the last game is the Dogs versus the Eagles. What is going to happen there? Mick, maybe you can go and hold the banner again. Only the Crows have guaranteed a final spot so far. So as all other 8 teams are playing for the top 9 position, so all other 8 teams need to win. And a few of those teams are playing each other. It's also a must-win game for the Gods and El Diablos. So who will win to take on the Gators for the 2025 Footywired Grand Final? Good luck to both sides. Hopefully injuries don't ruin this game. See you, everyone.
It's time to win. Footywired!
Hello, everybody. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone.